The morning had been deceptively calm in Genoa City. Sunlight spilled across the Abbott estate like a warm promise, but inside the walls of its grand living room, something far more turbulent was brewing, the kind of storm that even the clearest skies couldn't hide. Claire Grace had spent the better part of the morning wrapping up a series of difficult phone calls for Chancellor Winters, her focus laser-sharp as she tried to put out fires in 3 departments at once. She was running late, not that she had planned to stop by the Abbott house in the first place, but a text from Kyle, cryptic and urgent, need to talk, ASAP, private, had steered her directly to the mansion's front steps. She hadn't expected the door to be slightly ajar. She also hadn't expected to hear voices drifting from the den, hushed low, but tinged with something electric. At first, she thought she'd simply call out. Instead, instinct pulled her quietly forward, and that's when she saw it. Claire froze in the doorway, her breath catching hard in her throat. Across the room, Kyle Abbott stood far too close to Audra Charles. The two weren't touching exactly, but it was close enough that the space between them crackled. Kyle's eyes locked onto Audra's like he was staring down trouble he couldn't resist. And Audra's sly smile said she knew it. Worse, it looked like they'd been mid-argument that had somehow morphed into this. What the hell am I looking at? Claire's voice came out sharp, slicing the air like glass shattering. Kyle jerked back as if he'd been burned, the easy arrogance he often wore slipping for just a second. Audra, on the other hand, didn't flinch. If anything, she looked amused. Well, Audra purred, taking a step toward Claire. Didn't realize we were about to have an audience. Shame, it was just getting interesting. Claire's jaw tightened. She wanted to ignore Audra entirely, but the woman's smug tone made that impossible. Don't flatter yourself, Claire snapped, her gaze narrowing on Kyle. Is this why you called me over here? So I could watch you make the biggest mistake of your life? Kyle's voice was low, urgent. It's not what it looks like. Then by all means, Claire cut in, folding her arms, explain to me what exactly it is, because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're throwing away every ounce of progress you've made for her. Audra's smirk deepened, like Claire's disgust was just fuel for her fire. You're adorable when you're righteous, Claire, but Kyle's a big boy. He doesn't need you playing moral referee. Claire's lips pressed into a thin, hard line. Stay out of this, Audra, I'm not talking to you. Maybe you should be, Audra countered smoothly. Because while you've been busy playing the dutiful friend, Kyle's been, well, let's just say, keeping his options open. Kyle stepped in then, voice tight. That's enough, Audra. Claire's eyes locked on his, searching for some kind of truth, but all she saw was a man caught in a trap of his own making. She didn't wait for an answer. Instead, she turned on her heel and strode out, her pulse pounding in her ears. Across town, Lily Winters had no idea that Claire's morning had just detonated in spectacular fashion. She had her own powder keg to deal with, one that had Holden in the crosshairs. Holden Spencer had been leaning casually against Lily's office door when she walked in, his usual easy grin in place. But there was an undercurrent to his presence today, a restless energy that set Lily instantly on alert. You're early, she remarked, tossing her bag onto her desk. I figured we could get a jumpstart on our pitch for Chancellor Winters' West Coast expansion. He replied, but there was something in his tone, almost like he was trying to keep the conversation surface-level. Lily had been mulling over whether or not to bring up what she'd learned, and the more she looked at Holden now, the more she knew she couldn't put it off. Actually, she said slowly, there's something we need to talk about, and it's not the expansion. Holden tilted his head. Okay, you've got that look. This isn't going to be good news, is it? Lily took a breath. I know what you've been doing. That made his smile falter, just slightly. You're going to have to be more specific. I know you've been meeting with Devon behind my back, Lily continued, her voice steady but laced with steel. I know you've been pitching him your alternative strategy for the West Coast launch, without looping me in. Without even a courtesy conversation. Holden straightened, running a hand over his jaw. Lily, I don't, she cut in. Don't tell me it's nothing, or that you were going to talk to me eventually. This isn't about just a business decision, Holden. This is about trust, and you've just shattered it. Holden's voice dropped lower, more urgent. It wasn't like that. Devon asked me for my thoughts, and I gave them. I didn't think it needed to be. You didn't think, Lily said sharply. That's the problem. You went behind my back and undercut me in my own company. And now you're going to stand here and pretend it wasn't intentional. jaw tightened, his tone shifting from defensive to frustrated. Look, Lily, I'm not the enemy here. I care about Chancellor Winters, I care about you. But sometimes your way isn't the only way. And Devon seemed open to hearing other perspectives. And you seemed happy to give them, she shot back. But here's the thing, Holden, if you want to work with me, you need to respect me. If you can't, then maybe you shouldn't be working here at all. Her words landed like a grenade. In the small office, the silence that followed almost deafening. Holden stared at her for a long beat. Something unreadable flickering in his eyes. Is that really what you want? He asked finally. Lily didn't answer right away, but her expression was answer enough. Back at the Abbott estate, Claire had parked herself in her car, hands gripping the steering wheel as if she could strangle the memory of what she'd seen. She didn't know whether she was more furious at Kyle for letting Audra get that close, or at herself for being surprised. Her phone buzzed with a text from Lily. Need to see you. Urgent. Claire glanced back at the house in her rearview mirror, her pulse still uneven. She didn't have the bandwidth to deal with Kyle right now, but something in Lily's message told her that whatever was coming next might be just as explosive. She started the engine. By the time Claire arrived at Chancellor Winters, Lily was pacing the length of her office, her usually composed demeanor unraveling in real time. You look like someone just set the building on fire, Claire remarked, closing the door behind her. Not far off, Lily replied, rubbing her temples. Holden's been playing me, or at least trying to. He's been going around me to Devon with his own plans for the West Coast launch. Claire let out a low whistle. And here I was thinking my day was a disaster. That bad? Lily asked, pausing mid-pace. Claire hesitated, then shook her head. Let's just say I walked in on something I wish I could unsee, and it involves Kyle and Audra. Lily's eyes widened. Oh no. Oh yes, Claire said grimly. And, whatever game Audra's playing, Kyle is either too stubborn or too stupid to stay out of it. The two women stood there, the weight of their respective revelations settling between them like storm clouds ready to burst. Looks like we both have some hard choices ahead, Lily said finally. Claire nodded. And neither of us can afford to play nice anymore. The unspoken truth hung in the air. This wasn't just a bad day. This was the start of something bigger. Something that would ripple through Genoa City in ways neither of them could yet see. Later that evening, Holden stood alone in Chancellor Winters' parking garage, leaning against his car. He pulled out his phone, scrolling through messages before pausing on one from an unknown number. You did exactly what I needed you to do. Keep going. He deleted it without replying, but the faintest smile tugged at his lips. Meanwhile, at the Abbott house, Kyle poured himself a drink, staring into the amber liquid like it might have the answers he couldn't find anywhere else. You seemed flustered earlier. Audra's voice floated from the doorway. Kyle didn't look at her. Don't flatter yourself. Too late, she said with a smirk, crossing into the room. The thing is, Kyle flustered looks good on you. Across town, Claire sat in her apartment, replaying the morning over and over in her mind. Knowing one thing with absolute certainty, whatever game Audra Charles was playing, it was only just beginning. Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe our update World 24 YouTube channel for more update news.